Okay, so I want to talk about Marvel comics for a moment. And you guys know, well, maybe if you haven't watched me really, me and my family were really big into comic books, or at least we were. Like, my dad wanted to learn how to read because his dad brought him home a comic book, and it was just a family thing. Before I was talking about politics, I was talking about comic books, etc. With my sisters, we had this thing called the Gorgeous Geeks. We go to comic cons, we interview people, etc. It was a big thing that we did. Anyway, I have thousands of comic books, thousands of them. And I'm not what is deemed a normie, like someone who just watches a Marvel movie, means to Google something. So, Wakanda for Comic Con was this weekend, and so Marvel had a bunch of news and videos and panels, etc. So they did like first looks of Wakanda Forever, which is a sequel to Black Panther, which they decided to just kill off T'Challa because Chadwick passed away, and I I will maybe share my feelings about this after I talk about the Namor thing. Spoiler: I do think they should recast, but it is what it is. But I am not a person who does not know who Namor is. I think maybe to a lot of people he's a more obscure character, and I I think they race swapped him for um nefarious sort of reasons. I think they probably didn't need another, in the words of Kevin Feige, like another white straight man or something, or kind of paraphrasing what he said, but he did say something like that, saving the day, or I think he said something along the lines about Doctor Strange and why he shouldn't come to WandaVision to save the day or something. So anyway, they are conscious and about who's on screen, what their gender is, and what is the color of their skin. It doesn't need to be comic book accurate. They don't care about their actual characters and their backstory because they've changed up. They're changing a lot here. So it looks like the Namor in this world now is Mayan for some reason. Um, he's even got like some, that rod in his nose, this jury. It's very strange. Now, if it's just like ancient, I don't know how ancient old he is. Namor is old, but he's not ancient old. Um, so that's curious. Um, my sisters were looking at this picture, and they were saying that they're concerned about how toned he is because that doesn't look like a swimmer's body, and they're and my sister's like, I know athletes' bodies, and that back ain't it. That's what they were saying and noting. Um, so if you're not familiar with Namor the Submariner, that's Namor. So obviously, on one end you see like kind of like the original what he looked like, and these other two photos were of Michael Turner. Michael Turner, I loved Michael Turner's art, man. He passed away a long time ago from cancer, I believe. But I had this poster with the green trunks and the gold bands on that. That's a poster that I had on my wall for a long time, and I really like the character of Namor, Prince Namor. And in this one in the middle, you got Sue Storm there because he's been obsessed with Sue Storm forever. So it seems kind of, it's not totally out there that it's in he's first popping up in a Wakanda movie, because he does have dealings with T'Challa for sure. But I mean, it does seem weird that before there's the Fantastic Four really introduced to the MCU, they're having Namor. And I've been waiting for him to pop up on screen for a while, even back in the days of like Fantastic Four when they did the other movies. Um, where with Chris Evans when he played Johnny Storm, and you had Jessica Alba in the films. Um, Even at the end of the second one, I'm like, oh, Doctor Doom got knocked in the water here. What if that leads to a third one and Namor's in it? So I've been waiting for him to pop up on screen for a while, but they've changed his backstory. So people have been noting that they think it's weird because all the Atlanteans are blue. They're blue skinned, but he's obviously not. Here's the actor here. You can see that he is brown. and Namor is not brown. And he is mixed. He is half Atlantean and he's half human. His dad is a white guy, and I the actor himself said I wouldn't be here without inclusion, and he said that at Motor City, not Motor, I'm sorry, San Diego Comic Con. He said, I'm excited and I'm so happy to be here. It's an honor, and I want to say something really fast about inclusion. He said, I come from the hood, seriously, and thanks to inclusion, I'm here. I wouldn't be here without inclusion. A lot of us kids out here in their hoods are looking at us, dreaming to be here, and they're going to make it. They're going to make it. And he said, in a second thing, I need to switch to Spanish. Thank you to everyone, all the country of folks, and the Latin Americans who crossed the river. You left everything you love behind. Thanks to that, I'm here. Thank you, by the way. Namor is amazing. Namor is amazing, but I don't think you respect my character when you change his backstory and everything. He's not like mine or whatever this is. That's not who Namor is. And I think him being sort of this outcast, because he would be teased for being pink. They don't want to have all the sympathy for a white person, or someone who appears that way. So I would think that they're still going to have some of that dynamic of being the outsider, but it's blue people versus this brown person. And I think that's probably the story that they'd rather tell. He doesn't look like him, and this isn't his backstory. And if they're going kind of like an ancient thing, Namor's not an ancient person. He is old because he was like associated with Captain America, and the Invaders was their team. So he is an older person. He's when the mutants like really became hot, they were like making everybody mutant. So Namor was like deemed as the first mutant, is what they were trying to say. But so he's an Atlantean, mixed Atlantean, and also a mutant. They decided to include that all in, and I don't like it, and I understand like this man gets to play a cool role in this film, and but I still don't like it. I still don't like it. Like, I know what he's supposed to look like. I know his background, and I don't have a problem with Marvel tweaking some stuff. But what's with all like the race stuff? And this isn't like a side weird, like off the cuff character. He's a pretty dynamic, long time running character that a lot of people are associated with. A lot of people had posters of on their walls, have comic books in their basement stacked. So I inclusion is fine and dandy, but like Marvel, Disney, they have characters that they can make and make popular, and they have characters of different ethnicities that they could have different people play roles. But I don't understand what's all the race swapping with the white folks. I don't get it. I don't get it. And this is and you can't say it's not a small thing because they've changed his background. They've changed his entire background. So you can't say it's a little small thing that they've decided to change. Now maybe because Aquaman already had their thing, that they don't want it to be like a similar sort of story on screen to sort of do a different thing. I don't know what all the background is, but um I I don't like it. I don't like all the race swapping stuff, especially if there's just like an attitude of, well, we couldn't let this a white person do it. And there's very few white people obviously in the Black Panther films. I think there was only like two. There was the Claw guy, and the guy who's the agent who was in the office, like the British one, and the Hobbit, maybe. If there Unless like some other like henchmen's on the side. They're the only like two like lead roles. So um I don't like it. I got nothing else to say other than that.